Okay, so are you ready to kind of dive into something incredible?
I am. I'm ready.
We're going to be exploring Brennan's top five takeaways and insights to like start 2025 strong. And he's a brand strategist, so he specializes in helping plant-based, ethical, eco-friendly brands
Okay.
just really thrive. And what's really cool is that he's using the Psycho-Cybernetics framework to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that whole idea of understanding how your mind works
Yes.
to actually achieve what you want.
Yeah, that's right. And he's pulling these key points from this recent video by Joseph Rodriguez that breaks down Maxwell Maltz's work.
Okay.
So if you're ready to kick off the year with like a whole new mindset,
Yeah,
you're in the right place.
totally. And one thing that really struck me right off the bat was how Brennan emphasizes this like connection between our self-image and the kind of teachers or mentors we attract.
Right. It's almost like the universe is reflecting back to us the image we project, you know? So if you believe you're capable of incredible things, guess what? You're more likely to encounter people who can guide you on that path.
It's as if our readiness to learn is like a magnet,
Yeah.
drawing in the right mentors at the right time.
Exactly. It's that whole idea of when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And speaking of being ready, there's this powerful quote from the video that really resonated with Brennan.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing in life has any meaning until you give it meaning.
Whoa, that's a deep one. What are your thoughts on that?
It's so true, though. It highlights how we have the power to choose our perspective. You know,
Okay.
we can view setbacks as failures, or we can see them as opportunities for growth.
It's about taking ownership of our experiences and how we choose to interpret them.
Precisely. And, you know, this whole concept of self-image and beliefs ties directly into Brennan's first takeaway, which is all about mastering your mindset.
Yeah.
You know, he emphasizes that before we can achieve anything externally, we need to address what's going on internally.
So it's about understanding that our thoughts and beliefs shape our reality.
Exactly. And that leads perfectly into his 5-step process for reprogramming our subconscious mind.
Okay.
The first step is taking a deep dive into our self-image,
Okay.
acknowledging those limiting beliefs we might have picked up along the way. You know, those little voices that whisper, you can't do that, or you're not good enough.
Oh, yeah, we all have those voices to some extent, right?
Yeah.
So how do we start silencing them?
That's where step 2 comes in, challenging those beliefs. It's about asking yourself, is this belief truly serving me? Or where did this belief even come from?
Okay.
And this is where things start to get really interesting because Brennan brings in the power of visualization.
Oh, yes. This is something athletes use all the time, right?
Absolutely. By repeatedly visualizing yourself achieving a goal, you're essentially training your subconscious mind to accept that image as reality.
It's like creating a mental blueprint for success, but how does that actually work?
It's kind of like tricking your mind. The more you visualize yourself succeeding, the more your subconscious begins to believe it's already happening.
So it's almost like building muscle memory, but for the mind.
That's a great analogy, and the best part is this isn't just some woo-woo concept. There's actual science backing it up.
Nice.
Studies have shown that visualization can lead to real changes in behavior and performance.
Okay, I'm definitely starting to see the potential here.
Yeah.
But let's say I'm struggling with negative self-talk.
Mm.
You know, those constant thoughts like I'm not capable of achieving my dreams. How can I actually use visualization to shift that?
That's where affirmations come in. You replace that negative thought with a positive statement, something like, I am capable and deserving of success, and you repeat it again and again until your subconscious mind starts to believe it.
So it's about consciously replacing those negative thoughts with empowering ones.
Right. It's like rewiring your brain to focus on the positive.
This is making me think about all those times I've psyched myself out before a big event or presentation. Imagine if I could use visualization and affirmations to reframe those anxieties into excitement.
Exactly. And that brings us to Brennan's third step, actively managing and reshaping your self-image.
Okay.
It's about taking control and becoming the artist of your own life.
This all feels incredibly empowering, but Brennan also mentions these emotional scars that can hold us back. How do those fit into this whole self-image picture?
That's such an important point. Emotional scars, those past hurts we carry, can distort our self-perception and make us hesitant to step into our full potential.
So it's like they create these invisible barriers that prevent us from fully embracing who we are.
Exactly. And healing those scars is crucial for building a healthy self-image.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So how do we even begin to heal those emotional wounds? It seemed like a daunting task.
Brennan, drawing from the video, outlines 3 rules for immunizing yourself against emotional scars. The first is developing a self-reliant and responsible attitude.
What does that look like in practice?
It's about shifting from a victim mentality to a mindset of empowerment. Instead of blaming external circumstances or other people for our setbacks, we take ownership of our choices and actions.
So it's about recognizing our own agency and taking control of our narrative.
Exactly. And when we embrace that responsibility, we become less vulnerable to emotional hurts because we're no longer seeking validation or approval from external sources.
That's a powerful shift in perspective, and I think that's a great place to pause. For now, we've covered a lot of ground, but there's so much more to explore. We'll be back soon to dive into Brennan's remaining takeaways and insights. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
So we're discussing the power of self-image and, like the importance of healing those emotional scars.
Right.
What really resonated with me was that idea of, taking responsibility for our own narrative.
Yes. That self-reliant attitude is so crucial. It's about recognizing that we have the power to choose how we respond to life's challenges.
So it's not about denying that those hurts happen,
Right.
but rather about choosing not to let them define us.
Exactly. It's about reclaiming our power and moving forward with a sense of agency. And speaking of reclaiming power, that leads us perfectly into the second rule. Brennan highlights for immunizing ourselves against emotional scars, relaxing away those emotional hurts.
Or relaxation. I think we could all use a bit more of that in our lives.
It's essential when we're constantly stressed and anxious. Our minds are in overdrive, and that makes it difficult to access the deeper wisdom and creativity of our subconscious.
So it's about quieting that mental chatter and creating space for those insights to emerge.
Precisely, think about it. Those aha moments often come when we're not even consciously trying to solve a problem.
Right.
It's like our subconscious mind has been working on it in the background, and then suddenly the solution pops into our awareness.
It's like those moments of inspiration that seem to come out of nowhere when we're taking a walk, taking a shower, or just letting our minds wander.
Exactly. And that's why Brennan emphasizes the importance of incorporating relaxation techniques into our daily routines, whether it's meditation, spending time in nature, or simply taking a few deep breaths. Those moments of stillness can be incredibly powerful.
It's about giving our minds permission to rest and recharge so that we can tap into those deeper reservoirs of creativity and insight.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the third rule for immunizing ourselves against emotional scars,
Yeah.
dehypnotizing ourselves from false beliefs.
Dehypnotizing ourselves, that sounds pretty intense.
It's not as dramatic as it sounds. It's about questioning those limiting beliefs that we've picked up along the way. Those beliefs might have been helpful at one point in our lives, but they might be holding us back now.
So it's about examining those beliefs and seeing if they're actually serving us.
Right. Brennan suggests asking ourselves questions like, is this belief based on fact or just an assumption?
Okay.
What evidence supports this belief? And how is this belief affecting my life?
Those are powerful questions. It's like holding those beliefs up to the light and seeing if they still hold true.
Exactly. And if those beliefs are no longer serving us, we have the power to choose new, more empowering ones.
It's about consciously rewriting our internal narratives.
Precisely. And that ties perfectly into Brennan's second takeaway, which is all about unlocking your creative potential.
Okay.
He describes the subconscious mind as a giant search engine for creative solutions.
I love that analogy. So how do we effectively utilize this search engine?
The key is to clearly define our goals and then allow our subconscious mind to work on them. It's about trusting that our minds are constantly searching for solutions, even when we're not consciously thinking about them.
So it's not about forcing those solutions, but rather about creating the space for them to emerge organically.
Exactly. And Brennan outlines 5 specific rules for freeing up our creativity machine so that those solutions can flow more easily. The first rule is all about taking action and letting go of worry.
It's about getting out of our heads and into the world, trusting that we'll figure things out as we go along.
Right. It's about embracing the journey, even with all its uncertainties and challenges.
The second rule emphasizes the importance of being present.
Hmm?
We've touched on this already, but it's so crucial it bears repeating.
Absolutely. The present moment is where all the power lies. When we're dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, we're missing out on the opportunities and insights that are right in front of us.
It's about training our minds to focus on what's happening right now, rather than getting lost in those mental time travels.
Exactly. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for cultivating presence and quieting those distracting thoughts.
Okay, what's rule number 3?
Focus on one task at a time. This is a tough one in our multitasking culture, but the benefits are enormous when we devote our full attention to a single task. We're more present, more engaged, and ultimately more productive.
So it's about quality over quantity, choosing to do a few things really well rather than trying to juggle a million things at once.
Exactly. And that ties into the concept of deep work, creating blocks of uninterrupted time to focus on our most important tasks without distractions.
This makes me think about those flow states that athletes and artists often talk about. Those moments where they become completely absorbed in their craft and lose track of time.
Yes, those flow states are where creativity thrives, and single tasking is one of the keys to accessing them.
Okay, two more rules to go. What's the fourth?
Relaxation, which we've already discussed at length, but it's important to remember that relaxation isn't just about taking breaks or indulging in leisure activities. It's about cultivating a state of inner peace and calm that permeates all aspects of our lives.
So it's about finding that sweet spot between effort and ease, where we're fully engaged in our work, but not overly attached to the outcome.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between striving and surrendering, between pushing ourselves to grow while also accepting our limitations.
And finally, the fifth rule for unleashing our creative potential.
Sleep on it. We often try to force solutions to push our minds to come up with ideas on demand. But sometimes the best thing we can do is step away from the problem and allow our subconscious minds to work on it in the background.
So it's about trusting that our minds will continue processing even when we're not consciously working on something.
Exactly. Sleep is crucial for consolidating memories, making connections, and coming up with creative solutions. It's like giving our minds the time and space to do their magic.
This makes me think about all those times I've struggled with a problem, only to have the solution pop into my head the next morning after a good night's sleep.
Exactly. Sometimes the best thing we can do is surrender control, step away, and allow those insights to emerge organically.
This all ties back beautifully to that quote we discussed earlier. Nothing in life has any meaning until you give it meaning.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that we have the power to choose our perspective, to shape our reality through our thoughts and beliefs.
And that brings us to Brennan's third takeaway, which is all about navigating crises. Effectively, we've talked a lot about creating positive change and achieving our goals, but how do we deal with those inevitable setbacks and challenges?
That's such an important question, and Brennan emphasizes that crises are not necessarily negative events. They can be opportunities for growth and transformation.
It's about reframing our perspective, seeing challenges not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones on our path to success.
Exactly, and Brennan highlights the importance of maintaining a goal-oriented mindset when navigating crises. Instead of getting caught up in the details of the problem, we focus on the bigger picture, on what we're ultimately trying to achieve.
So it's about keeping our eyes on the prize, even when the going gets tough.
Precisely. And that's where the power of visualization comes in once again. Brennan recommends pre-practicing for challenging situations by visualizing ourselves successfully navigating them.
It's like creating a mental rehearsal for those high-pressure moments so we're better prepared to handle them gracefully when they arise.
Exactly. And the more we practice mentally, the more confident and resilient we become in real life.
This reminds me of those athletes who visualize themselves winning the race or making that game-winning shot. It's about programming their minds for success.
Absolutely. And we can apply this technique to any area of life, whether we're facing a difficult conversation, a public speaking engagement, or any other challenge. Visualizing a positive outcome can help us approach the situation with more confidence and composure.
So the key takeaway here is that crises are inevitable, but they don't have to derail us by cultivating a goal-oriented mindset, pre-practicing for challenging situations, and trusting our subconscious minds to guide us. We can turn setbacks into opportunities for growth and emerge from crises stronger than ever before.
That's a powerful message, and I think it's a great place to pause. For now, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into Brennan's insights for a successful 2025. In our next segment, we'll explore his final two takeaways, which are all about finding deeper meaning and purpose in our lives. Stay tuned.
All right, so welcome back to the show. We've been kind of, exploring Brennan's insights for a powerful start to 2025 using that fascinating Psycho-Cybernetics framework.
Yeah.
We've already covered mastering your mindset, unlocking your creative potential, and navigating those crises effectively.
Right.
Now let's dive into his final two takeaways, which
Yeah.
focus on finding deeper meaning and purpose in life.
I love these last two takeaways. They really resonate with me. They shift the focus from achieving external goals to cultivating a sense of inner fulfillment.
Yeah, it's like going beyond just, success to finding a deeper sense of purpose that drives everything we do. So what is Brennan's fourth takeaway?
This one is all about embracing your authentic self. And he talks about how so much of our energy gets drained trying to fit into molds that society, our families, or even we ourselves create.
It's like wearing a mask. pretending to be someone we're not, instead of fully embracing our unique quirks and passions.
Exactly. And Brennan reminds us that true happiness and fulfillment come from aligning our actions with our authentic selves.
Okay, so how do we even begin to tap into that authentic self? It seems like a lifelong journey of discovery.
It is a journey, but Brennan offers some guidance. He suggests exploring what truly lights us up, what activities bring us joy, and what values we hold dear.
It's like taking an inventory of, our passions, our interests, our core beliefs, and then using that as a compass to guide our decisions and actions.
Precisely. And it's not about achieving some idealized version of ourselves. It's about embracing who we are right now, imperfections and all.
It's about celebrating our individuality and recognizing that our differences are what make us special.
Exactly. And when we embrace our authentic selves, we naturally attract people and opportunities that align with who we truly are.
It's like our energy shifts,
Yeah.
and we start radiating a magnetic force that draws in the right experiences.
Absolutely. And that leads us perfectly into Brennan's fifth and final takeaway, which focuses on the power of contribution.
Contribution.
Mhm.
How does that fit into this framework of achieving success in 2025?
Well, Brennan believes that true success isn't just about personal achievement. It's about using our unique talents and gifts to make a positive impact on the world.
It's about shifting from a me focus to a we focus, recognizing that we're all interconnected and that our actions have ripple effects.
Precisely. And Brennan encourages us to ask ourselves, how can I use my skills and passions to serve others?
It's about finding that sweet spot where our personal fulfillment intersects with making a meaningful contribution to something larger than ourselves.
Exactly. And whether it's volunteering our time, supporting a cause we care about, or simply being kind and compassionate in our daily interactions, those acts of contribution create a sense of purpose and meaning that goes far beyond any material success.
It's about leaving the world a little bit better than we found it, however we define that.
Absolutely. And what I love about Brennan's insights is that they encompass the whole spectrum of human experience, from the practical strategies of psycho-cybernetics to the deeper yearnings for purpose and connection.
It's like a roadmap for not just achieving success, but for living a truly fulfilling life.
Exactly. And that's why I think these insights are so valuable, especially as we embark on a new year. They remind us that we have the power to create the reality we desire, both internally and externally.
It's about recognizing that we're not just passive recipients of our experiences,
Yeah,
but active creators of our own destinies.
absolutely. And that's a powerful message to carry with us throughout the year and beyond.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into Brennan's top 5 takeaways and insights for starting 2025 strong. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling incredibly inspired and ready to put these ideas into action.
Me too. It's been an incredible journey exploring these powerful concepts.
And a huge thank you to Brennan for sharing his wisdom and insights with us. We'll be sure to link to his work in the show notes.
Awesome.
To our listeners, thank you for joining us on this adventure. We encourage you to revisit these takeaways throughout the year and see how they can help you create a 2025 filled with purpose, creativity, and authentic fulfillment.
Yes.
Until next time, keep diving deep.